What's up guys? Fake AirPods Pro are here. Within a month of release of the original AirPods Pro, there's already so many clones that have flooded the market. And these are apparently one-to-one perfect in every single way. From the originals, they took about 2 years to actually perfect the design. It's astounding how efficient the Chinese market is at getting these out as soon as possible. So we'll take a look at these. I think these are called the super copies, and then there's i500s. And from packaging to the actual product to the software, these are apparently one-to-one. And I'm curious how deep that goes. Okay, so let's take a look at that packaging to begin with. First off, the quality is, of course, worse. And here we've got more of a gray look and not as detailed on the image, but it is embossed. That's a nice little touch. We've got the same AirPods Pro wireless charging case on the side. It is reflective silver also. Apple's packaging, by the way, the easiest way to tell is you're not gonna have to use a knife or your teeth to get into the packaging of AirPods Pro. It has a pull tab, here it does not. The sticker is not separated in two on the side. It's one solid sticker here. So the attention to detail is pretty dang good. Okay, so just from the packaging, unless you're experienced or you've seen this video, you're not gonna know. So I've seen lots of these in the news. Actually getting my hands on it, we'll see if the pairing process is just as easy. Apparently this has the H1 chip inside of it. Whether or not it's Bluetooth 5.0, it's gonna be hard to tell. But okay, so here are the AirPods. So they seem a little light. I will do a little weight test. They came in sideways like this, not proportioned correctly to how you open the box. So there's no pull tab to remove the plastic. Already a big difference. Just in the opening experience, it's on the inside. A defect. And of course we do have our lightning to USB-C cable, which is a nice little touch. Paper tabs as well. So the customizable earpieces are completely missing from the packaging. One size must fit all here. All right. And wow, I'm impressed. That looks really, really good. And they popped up right away on my 11 Pro Max here. So that's amazing. That's magic. By the way, this is on iOS 13.2.3, so it's on the latest version. And comparing these side by side, so the LED, it's not flush. It has a little hole in it. You can tell that it's not the same quality there, but it's a bright green little LED, same as Apple's, just not as diffused. On the bottom here, lightning port, very high quality, looks good. And this was specifically in the listing, is that the hinge was matte. And, oh, that's so funny. Oh no, it's not. It looks painted on for a second, but I'm actually amazed that the tolerances are smaller than Apple's. Apple's has a gap between the hinge, this one does not. Also, the button positioning and the text is a little darker, but no one would be able to know unless you have them side by side. So, impressive work on the hinge, and it feels very solid. Like the snap feels good. Sounds really good. So this is Apple's. A little deeper, a little snappier. I actually prefer the sound of this one. Sounds more like the originals. Huh. Wow, look at that. So on the inside of the casing, you'll find serial codes here, letting you know that it is a real product, and apparently they're from real AirPods Pro, but don't you dare try taking these to the Apple store. Let's check out the actual little bulbs. And I want to do a weight test here in a second, but compared to these, relatively the same weight. Maybe Apple's feels a little bit heavier. So on the bottom here, you can tell that the charging contact points are not as beautiful as Apple's. It's taken straight from the first generation AirPod, so not as beautiful, but it'll do the job. And there's a grate there for a speaker exhaust, I believe. Definitely not one-to-one in that regard. Also, there's text here underneath the bulb portion next to the sensor. So that part looks good. And here we've got a painted on sensor. So this actually doesn't do anything. It's just painted. There's no speaker grate here whatsoever. So that is not one-to-one. And the actual ear portion does not have that large of a hole. So I can definitely assume that the sound quality will not be the same here. It does have a force sensor here, but from what I understand, it probably does not work. I mean, that's a fancy piece of technology there. I highly doubt they'll be able to reproduce that. And do these come off? Oh, they do. And that's what it looks like. So it's a very dinky looking exhaust hole. This is the difference between $80 to $250. That's sound quality there. I very much do assume that these will sound nothing like Apple's. Also wanted to see how strong the magnet is inside of the cases. So if I try and fling them out, oh wow, it's actually really strong. And will they fit each other's cases? So this is the fake one. It does fit into the original and vice versa. So a little bit loose, which, and it does close. There it is. The design really is one-to-one in terms of size, but they're using different technologies for the actual sound and charging. Still is impressive that they were able to reproduce it in such a small little form factor. Okay, so let's get to connecting and sound quality. Now, I'm genuinely impressed that they were able to get this menu and spoof it. From what I understand, it's Mac ID spoofing. They're not actually cloning the H1 chip, but it still works and it's incredibly fast. So that's Apple's original. We're not getting the same animations yet, but let's go ahead and connect. Connect to iPhone, hold the button, we'll hold it on the clones, and there it is. So it did connect. We've got AirPods Pro showing up on our iPhone, cloned. And part of the listing did mention they will show up over here. It does show the AirPods Pro charging. If I pull one out, yes, it does show up as right. That's amazing. The integration is basically OEM. Okay, so with that connected, I wanna play some Post Malone. Let's check out that fit. And they feel really good. Like, this feels like the OEM one. They're the same size. They do seal off the ear canal. It's somewhat noise canceling. I wouldn't say the same effect. When you put in official AirPods Pro, there's this seal and pop effect. It's really cool until you try it. You know, you don't really know what I'm talking about, but suddenly the world goes silent. And this does not have the same effect, but it is more noise canceling than any other AirPod clones that I've used. So I guess it somewhat has that. I highly doubt it's gonna have the integration. Yeah, no noise cancellation integration, but it does show up as AirPods Pro. Okay, so about halfway, it's pretty loud, about 75%. Oh yeah, most definitely this does not have the quality of original AirPods. Let me pop one of the real ones in. So I'm attempting to share audio. It detects them, but then doesn't actually let me share audio to them. I think it's struggling with that. Would have been interesting. Just for my little analysis of listening to them, I gotta tell you, the sound is not that good. I mean, it's clearly a downgrade. It's 70% of the sound, I'd say, of the originals, maybe 65%. You're obviously not getting that noise cancellation, and it's pretty clear, just no bass. There's like almost no bass whatsoever. Definitely more of a tinny sound, and of course you're not getting any of the software features such as transparency mode. It also doesn't show up with the little logo in the control center, letting you know it's a generic AirPods Pro clone. So the software integration could be better, but it does work. It connects very fast. Be prepared not to get the same sound as Apple's original. There's a very wide margin between those two in terms of sound. But still, I'm very stunned that they were able to get this kind of sound and out of such a small package within such a relatively short amount of time. So wireless charger is working. Let's pop these on, see if they have a coil inside. And it appears they do not. Also wanted to test the individual weight of the AirPods. Apple is 5.4 grams and ClonePod is 3.26. So wow, actually a significant difference between the two. It feels lighter now that I saw the specs. Apple's entire package is 57 grams almost, and this one is 37, so 20 grams lighter. You know, just picking them up, yeah, this does feel more solid. It's a little dinky, a little light. So clear difference there in terms of quality. And before I forget, I do want to test the controls for switching music. It's not a press. The force press sensor doesn't work. So they retain the tap function from the older clones. No force press. This is all a gimmick here on the side, so don't expect that to work. And lastly, a test I want to do is testing the electromagnetic interference radiation coming from AirPods. A metric usually people don't care about, but this is something you're putting next to your brain. Wouldn't you want it to be safe? So Apple's AirPods are playing, and right next to them, I'm getting about 4 volts per meter. If I step away from them, it drops
to about 2. So say about 4 volts, a little over 4 volts per meter, 4.2. With a baseline of about 2 volts per meter next to the fake, oh wow, 6 volts per meter near the fake AirPods Pro. So definitely over 5.5. That's insane. So you're getting way more electromagnetic radiation coming from fake AirPods versus originals. I don't know how harmful this is, but that's 2 volts per meter more than Apple's. If anyone knows more about this, leave a comment, but that's kind of scary. Bluetooth 5.0 and Apple's versus whatever Bluetooth this is. About 30 feet, still holding strong, 40 feet, 50 feet. Still good. Straight line of sight. I'm able to get a strong connection on both even at 100 feet. Passes the range test.
Yes, these look like AirPods Pro. They connect to your iPhone like AirPods Pro, but they do not have any of the features that make AirPods Pro amazing, nor the sound quality. So at $80 to $100, depending on where you buy them from, are they worth it? I don't know. You really have to want to flex on somebody to spend this kind of money. I mean, I'd rather just save up and get the full amounts. It's just not worth it compared to Apple's. Maybe if the price comes down to like $50, sure, but at 80 plus, I can't justify that price tag. Even though it's a very good clone of Apple's, I'd still, of course, go for Apple's any day. We'll keep an eye out for any better versions of this. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Peace.